Hello everyone and welcome to another interesting episode on Sew with Stella. If you want to see how I made this beautiful dress, keep watching and don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad to have you here. So for today's tutorial, these are the fabric I'll be using to make it. We are actually going to make a dress for a 9-year-old and I'll be using this fabric to achieve that. So that's that. Please, if you are yet to subscribe, click on the subscribe button and also hit on the notification for you to be notified each time I make a new upload. Thank you. So let's get started. Like I said earlier, this dress is for a 9-year-old. It's for a 9-year-old. So I'm going to cut the front panel and the back panel together. As you can see, I fold my fabric, but let me explain. You can see the way I folded it. This will serve as the front panel, and the front panel is going to have a zip at the front. So what I marked here, I hope you can see it, is the zip allowance. So the zip will be at the front. So, and this is for the back panel. So what I'm going to do is the back panel is going to start where I have this zip allowance. So let me quickly arrange that. So that is that. You can see the way I folded it. This for the back panel and this for the front panel. This just for the zip allowance. So, and also I've already gone ahead to draw my horizontal line, but let me explain to us. This is the shoulder line. From the shoulder to the upper bust, that's where the armhole will curve, it's 6 inches. Then from the shoulder to the waist is 12 inches. Then from the shoulder to the hip is 20 inches. Then from the shoulder to, as in the length of the dress, is 38. But I added 2 inch for hemming allowance because I'm going to use the lining to turn it. So I'm going to use 2 inch for that because I want part of the fabric to go under with the lining. So that is that. So the next thing is to take the shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement is 12 divided by 2 is 6. Take note that I'm not starting here. Let me shift it so that I hope you can see it. Take note that I'm not starting here. I'm starting here because this is zip allowance, remember. So the shoulder is 12 divided by 2 is 6. So 6 plus 0.5 for the seam allowance. That's what I used to join the shoulder to the sleeve. It's going to give me 6.5. So I have 6.5 here. Take note, I'm going to take the normal shoulder slope. So that's that. I'm going to come down by 1. Then I'm going to mark it down. But to have a straight line, what I have here, I'm also going to measure it here, 6.5, because I want my line to be straight. So that's that. For the neckline I'll be using it. The front neckline is going to be 3. That's the depth is going to be 3. It's going to be 3. Or you can decide to make it 2.5. It all depends on how you want your neckline to be. But for mine, the front is going to be 3 and the back is going to be, let's say, 1.5. 1.5. So, and then the width is going to be, I'm still going to make it 3, and then I'll go ahead and connect. And then for the armhole, I'm just going to take the midpoint, which is 5.5, divide by 2. is going to give me 2.75, which is here. Then I can come in by, let's say, 0.5, which is here, and then connect with a straight line. And then the bust is 28. 28 divided by 4 is going to give me 7. This is 7, but I'm going to add 0.25 for ease allowance, which is 7.25, which is here. So that's where the curve is going to stop. So this is for the front armhole. For the back armhole, I'm just going to use this and connect to this straight line. So the next is to take note of her hip measurement. Her hip measurement is 32. 32 divided by 4 is 8. 32 divided by 4 is 8. This is 8. Take note that this is her waist. Her waist and her bust is the same thing. Her waist is 28, and you know we've already marked that here. That's for the bust, 28. So it's still the same thing with this. So it's just to take note of the hip measurement. Like I said, the hip is 32. 32 divided by 4 is 8. This is 8. But this is not a fitted gown. I want it to have, you know, a little bit of I want the dress to be a little bit free. So I'll just go ahead and add 1 inch, which is 9. Then plus 2-inch seam allowance, which is here. That's what I'm going to do. I'll still add the 2-inch seam allowance here. I hope you understand. Please, if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. So let me bring it up. Remember that I said her hip is 32. 32 divided by 4, it's 8. This is 8 plus 1 inch, because I want the dress to be a little bit free, which is 9. Then plus 2-inch seam allowance. You see it? So this, which is what I marked here. So what I'm going to do is just to connect. So after connecting, I'll just connect it down to the end of the dress. And when doing that, I am not going to go straight. I want the down part to be open. So I'll just use my hand to just trace it. Just like how we do it on A-line dress. So you see it, that is it. So the next thing to do is, because I don't want this edge to be sharp, I'll just go ahead and, you know, curve it. So that's just it. So the next thing now is to cut. Before cutting, remember that you have to cut for the back panel first before cutting for the front panel. Remember, back panel first. Don't forget to add your shoulder. That's ½ inch for the shoulder. That's what you use to add the front panel and the back panel. Don't forget. So as you can see, I finished cutting it. So what I'm going to do is just to cut for the front. Remember that this is the back and this is the front. So let me just cut the neck for that of the front. Then the armhole. So you see this for the back and this for the front. So since the front is going to have a zip, I'm going to open it up. So after opening it up, what I'm going to do is to mark 2.5 round. So what I'll do is just to connect it. I hope you can see it. This one is straight, so I'll just use my ruler to connect 2.5. Take note, I marked 2.5 from here down. So after marking the 2.5, this is it. This is it. So what I'm going to do is just to cut. But remember that if I should cut, I'm going to place the one I cut out on this fabric, because that's what is going to be on the front. So before I go ahead and cut, you know that we will need 1/2 inch from this side to join it to this one. That's when we eventually cut out from here. We'll need 1/2 inch for this one. So what I'm going to do is, instead of me to cut that 2 inch, to cut that 2.5 inch, I'm going to leave 1/2 inch that I will use to join this panel to that one of the other fabric. So that is that. You can go ahead and still take note of your 1/2 inch. That's for the joining. That's for the seam allowance. Just mark 1/2 inch. So as you can see, I've gone ahead to mark out the 1/2 inch for this one. So I'll go ahead and cut. So we are done with this. So as you can see, I've gone ahead to place this fabric on this one, on the other fabric. So what I'm going to do is to add 1 inch like this down. Why I'm adding 1 inch is that, remember that we left 1/2 inch on the other fabric. Okay, let me bring it back. I was supposed to cut out 2.5, but I ended up leaving this 1/2 inch that will act as this seam allowance. So that's this 1/2 inch plus the 1/2 inch of this seam allowance that I also need to add this to this will make it 1. So that's why I'm adding 1 inch down. So that is that. I hope you understand. So let me go ahead, add the 1 inch and then cut. So I finished cutting it. Let me open up here because it's on fold. So this is what we have. Please take note that you can actually decide to cut this on your pattern paper first before cutting directly, before placing it on your fabric to cut, to avoid, you know, wasting of fabric. So don't forget. So this is what we have. Let me take notes of this, the back. So that's that. So that's it. So what I'm going to do is to join this to this, this to this, then use the lining to turn it over. So that's that. And also for the back panel, I also cut out the lining and then turn it, use it to turn it. So that's that. Let me go to the sewing machine and do that. Please, if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. I'll be glad to answer your question. Thank you. So as you can see, I've joined them together. You can see how beautiful it is. You can see it. And I also went ahead to fix the zip. You can see the zip is actually long. It's a long zip. You can see it. So the next thing I'm going to do is just, this is the back panel. I've gone ahead to turn it with the lining. You can see it is just to, you know, join the shoulder, join the side, and that's it. You can also decide to fix a pocket if you want to. So that's just basically what you need to do. So let me go to the sewing machine and do that. I'm going to show us the finished look. So as you can see, I'm done with the clothes. You can see how beautiful it looks, and I've gone ahead to fix the sleeve. The sleeve is just your normal 360 flay. So that is what I used. The difference is just the length, and also this one is just full and this one is just halfway. It's just halfway. So that is that. You can see how it looks. You can see how beautiful it looks. I hope you learned something from this video. If you do, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like, and share with your friends. So till I come your way next time with another interesting tutorial, do have a lovely, lovely day. Bye bye.